was there, and it was just the competitive nature. I loved it. And then also just the physical aspect, right? Like I loved being in shape and having that outlet for my aggression. And
hello, you guys. What's going on? We got another amazing episode, but we're going to just jump right into it. Ginger, what is going on, girlfriend?
Coach P.
Yeah.
I had a little coffee today. I don't normally drink coffee, and I forgot to ask for decaf, so I'm ready. Let's get into it.
Let's go. So going right into that, we jumping into it because you are definitely a doer in your own lane. So just let the people know what you have been doing and who you are.
Yeah, my name is Ginger Fitchett, and I am a speaker, author, coach, and podcast host. Podcast. I never know what to say. But anyways, I do all the things.
Yes.
I'm very big on, I'm a girl's girl, okay? So I love to work with my ladies and just help them to know their worth and just get after those dreams that God has placed on your heart. That's what I'm about. So my book is called Thrive, How to Let Go, Find Purpose, and Flourish When Staying Seems Easier. And my podcast is called Get Up 10 because we're going to get up every time that life knocks us down. So that's a little bit about me. The other title I like to say is like daughter of the Most High, right? Because can't forget that. And I'm also a single mama to a certified yapper who's 4 years old. But I mean, she takes after her mom. So
definitely is. And she is amazing. She is definitely amazing. And thank you for that. Because like you said, with so many hats you run, you are definitely a doer in your own lane. And I just love that. Had the pleasure of meeting you a couple of years ago. And it has continued to grow and continue to grow. But definitely we will have also in the show notes everything about her information, where you can get her books, all that. We want to make sure that ladies, that you are definitely, you're doing that thriving, 10 toes down, 10 toes up. We thriving. It's been our year. It's our year now, and we're gonna continue.
Yeah, somebody said we thriving in 2025. I thought, oh, I like that.
Yes, period, Pooh. But as we are here, you guys see, we love interacting and having fun because life is also about fun, even in the extraordinary areas that we work in and what we do. So jumping into that, because working a lot with a youth, one of the biggest things I really pone in is youth success and being a former coach. Having the pleasure to connect with you. One of the things that we profoundly know that you was a former athlete too.
Yes.
Yeah. So as a former athlete, can you just tell the people what sports you played, and if you don't mind, where you played at? I always say where you played it because some people, with certain conversations may not want to speak on. You can say in the area or facility that you may have played in.
Okay. Well, yes, I am very much, to this day, I still consider myself an athlete because
once an athlete, always an athlete.
Yes, like I still work out 5 times a week to this day. But let's see. I started playing sports in like 4th grade seriously. And so from like middle school all the way until high school, I was a 3-sport athlete, kind of like 3.5 sport athlete, because I did soccer in the fall, basketball in the winter, and then track and field in the spring. But then the love for basketball just took over in 8th grade. And so I say 3.5 because on top of school sports, I played AAU like year round. Mm-hmm. So I would literally go from like soccer practice, change real quick, and then go to basketball practice. Like, no idea how I did that. Could not do that now.
We all did it. Like you said, now as a we like, how did we do it? But as a kid, we were just ready to go, 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 go.
And I got good grades, and I was always on the honor roll. So I'm like, how did I do it? I don't know, but it got done. And then basketball just was my love. Like I could have played, a lot of people don't know this about me. I could have played soccer on the Division III level, but I chose to stick with my focus and my love, which was basketball. So I played on the Division III level in I don't even remember the name of the conference, but I did get to go to the March Madness, the NCAA tournament my freshman year with, back then it was the College of Mount St. Vincent. So that was amazing. And I do have the ring. So a lot of people can't say that. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Hey, look at it, look at it. We put that out there. Okay, okay. I love that. And I love that because that's funny. I think majority of sometimes as females, especially when we're in school, it's like that female, we want you to play this, 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 and this. Because from the soccer, from the track was also things that I did. And funny thing though, soccer was my first love. And then basketball grew on too. Yeah. And it was just like I just love something about soccer.
Yes.
Coach seen me and was like, "Yo, we need you to play basketball." And I was like, "Okay, I guess I try it."
I loved soccer, but the difference for me was like I loved both sports, but with basketball, I was willing to go the extra mile that I wasn't for soccer. So
Okay.
that's how I knew, like, okay, I'm gonna stick with basketball. Like I remember there was one winter because I grew up in New York in the tri-state area, Rockland County. I need to calm down. I'm misbehaving. It's fine.
Let's
It's
go. No, we up. We doers. We up on 10.
yeah, I grew up in Rockland County, which people be like, "You're not from New York because you're not from the city." Whatever. Bye. I'm from New York State. Anyways, so we get the winter up there, and I was in 8th grade, and I literally like went outside in the middle of winter and was shooting around in my driveway until my fingers went numb. And I did not have that type of dedication for soccer. I love
Oh,
soccer, not that much. So
okay, that's gonna lead into like I talk to students all the time about purpose driven. And I think that right there led into like what was your purpose of why you did those things? I know you said you loved it, but what was your drive in basketball? Like a lot of youth are playing sports as we know, but they don't have a drive. So helping some of that young ladies like, yeah, I want to play, but I'm just out here and want them to get the focus of what is your purpose? What is your drive? Why you really want to do it? And what was your drive for you to continue to play sports as you did in that way?
it was really for love of the game, but then I think it got more serious. Like in my book, I talk all about my basketball career, and I call it Love and Basketball because, as I've said, and I will continue to say probably, like I loved basketball. It was such a big part of my life. What got me into basketball originally, I'm not gonna lie, was my brother. My brother and I are 18 months apart. I'm the biggest sister. Well, I'm the oldest out of four, but this particular brother. And so he just from a like even earlier than I did, my parents had him in basketball. My grandpa was buying him all the fancy basketballs and the figurines, like ball was life. But I would go to the games and I'd be like, like I could do that. And so I think part of the reason it was just that competitive nature of like, girls could do it too. I could do that too. And
Right.
I think over the years, the enjoyment was there, and it was just the competitive nature. I loved it. And then also just the physical aspect, right? Like I loved being in shape and having that outlet for my aggression. And it was just a great outlet for me in so many ways. And then when I realized that, oh, like I'm better than your average at this, then the focus shifted to like, okay, let me take this seriously because it could help me out in the future with college and stuff. I was never on a D1 level, really. I do have friends that even to this day are still playing and went pro and everything. So like, I did compete with that level and I could hang, but I knew personally like I would do better at a D2 or a D3 because I knew that I was going to be a nursing major. And nursing school is not for the weak. So with that in mind, I was okay with a D3 level. So that became the focus. Like, okay, let me continue to hone my craft because I want to take this as far as I can. Like I knew I wasn't going pro, but I knew that it's something I wanted to be a part of my life for as long as I could. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that again because, to my young ladies that are out here and you listening to this, one of the things she went from purpose to saying, okay, now I'm going to go all in. But also, biggest thing was understanding what level I need to be at. I think as athletes, we all get to, oh, we got to go to this South Carolina, we got to go to this LSU, which is amazing, great colleges, but you knew your level. And some people don't do that. Also, me, I went to a JUCO. I knew my level work. Like you said, young lady, she's big in the league. Shout out to Dewana Bonner, one of Birmingham finest here. play AAU with her, played on the same team with her. Amazing young player, and her level of expertise. But it was also where I knew my level was, but also you knew where you wanted to go. And that's another level of, as young athletes, what's next after basketball. And you talked about you knew nursing was what's next after basketball. And as we kind of glide from there, though, we knew nursing and you went into that area of the D2, D3, but we all know life be life. So in the midst of that, even though you had everything together and saying this is what it is, what were some of the challenges that you faced during that time frame?
You talking about in college?
Yes.
Ooh,
Transition. I guess what would be good from that transition to high school to college or some of the challenges, even
okay.
though you was focused and you was ready,
Yeah.
just giving them some of that. And I love when we have former athletes come on, because sometimes our female athletes feel like I'm alone. It's just me and I'm going through this. And I'm like, baby, we've all challenges.
Okay, I'm gonna give it to you at each stage then. So for years, from like middle school to high school, one of my biggest struggles, I mean, there was a lot of challenges, but personally, one of my biggest struggles was that mental and emotional focus because I'm a very emotional girl.
We
But
are,
when
yes.
you on the court, it's not time to be emotional because that can be a weakness in a way. And it was for me. I let people get me out of character and it cost me awards and accolades one time. Um, Other challenges that I faced was going to a small private school. There was one year, I think it was like my junior year, where we didn't have a coach. My track coach ended up coaching us. And some of my friends just joined the team just so that we would have a team because they knew how much it meant to me. So here I was playing at a high level, but my teammates were not on the same level. And so being the leader that I am, I didn't throw that in their faces. I was very protective and grateful of them. But I mean, it's tricky when you do want you want somebody who could push you, and that
Yeah.
wasn't there. So there was that in high school. And then transitioning from high school to college was very much a wake up call because I was a big fish in a little pond for so many years. Um, and then going into college, I was not the top player. I was not the top scorer. I was not in the starting five. I was actually the last man for most of my last woman for most of my college career. And so that again was difficult because it's easy when you are that bench warmer to take yourself out, to check out, to quit. But I took it as motivation to continue working on my game. And so there was that. There's always, the teammates, the relationship with your teammates, the relationship with your coach. My particular experience was that there was a lot of instability in my college program. We literally had a new coach like every year. Um, and each of those has its own set of circumstances. But by my senior year, me and coach, we ain't get along. I just tried so hard in the beginning. I remember, I'll never forget her first day on campus. I was so excited. I'm like, senior year, this is my year. I went to her office to introduce myself, see if she needed anything. And I was met with attitude. And I was like, oh, okay. Maybe she's having a bad day, but no. And so the relationship with my coach did not get better. It actually got worse. The relationship with my teammates that particular year, I did not feel supported. And so I actually ended up quitting my team my senior year, which I know a lot of people can't say. But at that point, like you said, like I was self-aware to realize I'm not going pro. I'm trying to have a nice life after this with my nursing career and my good money, my good paying job. And it is not worth what I'm putting myself through physically, mentally, and emotionally at this point. I love the game, but it hurts more than the bad was outweighing the good at that point. And so I had to remove myself.
Got it. And I want to go back to, you said mental motivation to keep going despite. If you can kind of go a little detail more about that mental motivation, like what did you do? What was some of your actual tools to utilize mental motivation?
That mental piece is so important. And that's why any sport is great because it really helps you with that. For me personally, like I said, I'm just very competitive by nature. So whether I'm competing against my teammate or just competing against myself, that's always a factor, right? To be better than I was yesterday. And then what also, I just, there's the love of the game was there. And then also, I talk about this in my book throughout the years. It's like, I always felt until the end, I always felt supported. So it was like, if I was having a bad day with coach, my teammates had my back. If I was having a bad day with my teammates, my coach had my back. And so there was always that support. And then I think basketball really taught me, maybe it was more than basketball, just all the years of sports taught me the difference between, okay, it's time to give up and remove myself versus, okay, it's time to keep trying and keep going harder. And that's one of the most important lessons I've learned, because it's so important to know when to leave. And that goes for everything, the sports, the relationships, the job. You got to know when to leave. And I really learned that from basketball, as well as so many other lessons. But you know, you got to be right mentally, and only you know your limits. And yeah, you only you can decide that for yourself. So again, it goes back to that self-awareness that I know that you're big on.
Most definitely. And I love that, because that is the huge pillar of I've heard you talk about, is being self aware. You knew where you were in each area, where it's kind of hard for most youth. But if you start now of kind of understanding, where do I want to be? Where do I want to go? In that mindset. And it goes to sports. I always tell people sports is life. And sports, because of that, taught me so much. It gave me so much leverage upon other students, because I was already challenged so much in life through sports. So it came on now, and they're like, "You're such a leader." Leadership was developed through sports.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're the first or the 12th, you got to have some form of leadership within sports.
Absolutely.
On that floor. So it's so needed for that. So again, you said, and it was, you actually quit yourself and you stopped playing.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of emotions did you go through when you quit on it? Like, what happened and how did you bounce back to continue forward?
It was so hard. As I mentioned, like, I wasn't, me and my coach, there was friction there. My teammates, I didn't feel supported by them. Over the years, I never was really like super close with my teammates, but we got along, we had fun. But they weren't like my best friends. Like, we don't, to this day, I'm not like, yeah, like we just got together the other day. No. It was never like that. But like, for the sake of, I was a good teammate. I was a team player. And I those girls to this day, like, I have nothing against them, and I love seeing their posts on Instagram, but whatever. But towards the end, I didn't feel supported by my teammates. And then on top of that, my body just started breaking down. Like, all the years of sports and not having a proper recovery routine in place caught up to me. I actually sprained my ankle really bad for the first time in 8th grade, so bad that the ligament, or whatever, is it a ligament or a tendon? Ligament. The ligament took a piece of the bone off. Like, that's how severe the sprain was. But I never, I recovered. And then, like, throughout the years, I sprained my ankle countless times. I just threw my brace on and kept going. Yeah. And so by the time I got to the end of my college career, that caught up to me, and I had developed tendonitis in my ankle, and there was no warning sign. Like, I would be fine, and the next second my ankle would like lock up, and I would be sitting on the floor in my dorm room, or I would be like, I would be trying to sprint during practice, and I couldn't even. And that's another reason why my teammates was looking at me sideways, because they didn't understand what I was feeling. They're like, yeah, we all got injuries. Like, what makes you so special? And I was like, no, like, you don't understand. Like, I can't move my ankle up right now. So there was that. And then on top of that, the coach that they brought in towards the end of my college career came from a D1 background. So her expectations for us was very high. Yeah. And because of that, she wanted us, we were in film, we were in practice, and then classes, and there was not a good, I don't know. I just, at that point, I felt miserable, because I felt like my life was like, go to workout, sweat, go to class, go to practice, sweat again, go watch film, stay in those sweaty clothes. And I was actually, not only was I not happy, like mentally, the motivation was gone, but my skin was breaking out from being in sweaty clothes so long. And so my skin was breaking out. I wasn't happy anymore. I was in pain. I was unsupported. And so I was not feeling basketball anymore. Well, it wasn't that I wasn't feeling basketball. It was just becoming very difficult. Like the joy
environment
for me. Yeah, the joy had been taken from me. And so it was hard because it was like I told myself this was my senior year. This was my year. I was looking forward to being honored as a senior and all the things. And I was, even though the coach came with new standards, I was ready to rise to the occasion, but I just physically couldn't. And so it was heartbreaking to step away, but I knew I took a moment to, talk to to people that could give me wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, it's like the bad outweighed the good, the cons outweighed the pros. And so I made a decision to walk away, and I did not regret it after. It wasn't easy to get to that point, but afterwards I knew I made the right decision and I was so much happier. And I did have some opportunities to play afterwards, and I still hope to this day that I get the opportunity to coach in some capacity because I do love the game. And then it's always going to be that. But yeah, me and basketball, we've been through some things.
Come on now, that's a really loving that relationship with that one right there, baby. I love that you said that being able to talk to some other people and your peers to actually outweigh those things. Again, you guys, athletes, especially my female athletes, directly as we're talking, I want you to look at those things, write them down before you make that decision. You want to think about it. And as we talk about that, yes, this episode is actually sponsored by Youth Talk United. Even though you see my girl over there with the Talkers First Doers, Youth Talk United is my nonprofit where we allow youth to get together and talk about everyday social issues and how to challenge themselves so they then can transition to becoming doers of anything that comes their way. So having people around you that you can really speak to, you can talk to, and you confide in is so, so important. So if you want to learn more about Youth Talk, please, you will see that at the download too, as we are taking at least 5 more students coming in right now. If you're actually in your 9th grade or your 10th grade year, we are looking for more to become part of the group. It is a closed group where we have no more than 20 kids to come along, because these type of conversations that we're having here, guess what? We have those with you guys too as well. So, but back to you, I love what you said of being able to challenge those. And once you got through, you was like, okay, now I'm free. I'll let that go. I understand where I was at. And now you're saying that you're open, you want to coach. So please, you guys here, look, she's dedicated. Because look, she's out here in Florida. She still got on. I was like, oh my God, I was about to cancel it because I know the storm. Prayers for all the families and so many people over this time frame that has lost. And I was like, I don't see how she's gonna jump on. But she's committed because she's a doer. She said, no, I'm ready, I'm excited. So that just shows you the dedication right there of it. So again, we thank you for that. So as we continue to channel through and near closing on this, what would you just say to that young female athlete that is right now in your shoes, that were in your past shoes and struggling mentally, like, I want to do this, I want to complete this, but I also have other things and other purpose I feel God want me to do. And I don't want to let people down, which those people can be your teammates and other people that have watched you all throughout life play sports. And now you're saying, maybe I'm just a little bit overwhelmed and tired of it. Like, just what are some words of encouragement or thoughts that you can give to them as they're struggling through this right now?
So, one of my coaches in college, I'm about to butcher this, but something she said that I'll never forget is, I'm like, should I look it up? I'm gonna try to say it. Those who matter don't mind, and those who mind matter. I'm messing it up, but the point is that the people that are bothered by your choices or decisions, they don't matter. But the people who really care about you, they're gonna support your decisions. And now it's bothering me that I can't. It's so fire.
No, I love just the analogy behind that. Like,
Yes.
but they're gonna support you regardless. I love that.
Okay, here we go. It's loading. I think it's by Dr. Seuss actually. Be who you are and say what you feel because those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind.
Mm,
And that's stuck with me to this day. Um, I know it's hard to disappoint other people, but one thing I would definitely go back to tell my younger self is, girl, focus on yourself. Do you, pour into you, love you, focus on you. Because when you start making decisions trying to please other people, that's when you lose yourself. And that's exactly what I did for many years. And so if I could teach a young girl that while she's still a young girl, baby, you ahead of the game.
mm, focus on you. I love it, Ginger. Now, please tell the people where they can find you, how can they connect, and anything that you got coming up.
Absolutely. Everything is available on my website, gingerfitchett.com. All my socials are linked. My book is there. My podcast is there. And I'm going to set up a page to collect interest for getting into my coaching program, which that's what's coming up. That's what I'm really pushing is my coaching program because I really want to walk alongside y'all and just help you figure this thing out. Like maybe you're listening and you're like, I did lose myself. I don't know what I want or what brings me joy. Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's get into it. I'm gonna help you with that. But yeah, my social media, if it's not my name, is Ginger and Fit, which people always think like fit because I'm always working out, but it's just the first three letters of my last name. So I'm in all the places and all the things, and I would love to connect. And if I said something that resonated with you, let me know.
Yes, please do. Please do. If anything resonate, a quote or anything, or just her bubbly personality, please leave us a comment. If you got a question for a comment that, when you guys check out this video, share it out, and I would definitely make sure she gets it. Also, all her contact information will be below as well. So we want to thank you guys for joining. I just want to bring you as we step into a new season of you guys that are going into basketball, just some encouraging words, but also hear from someone that has went through that road that you're possibly going through, and you're saying, how do I continue or how do I stop? And we wanted to give you that today. So I hope you guys got something from it. She's definitely going to be back as she talks about her career in coaching, because I know it's coming because she's been speaking it. And as she speak it, as it will and it shall come. So we're agreeing on that right there. But as always, you guys, don't just talk about change, be a doer change. Why? Because you deserve it. See you on the next one.